The Adeptus Mechanicus, once known simply as the Mechanicum of Mars, was a political entity that came out of the Age of Strife even before the Imperium of Man existed. It became a close ally of the Imperium during the beginnings of the Great Crusade and merged together as a quasi-singular union. But during the Heresy, the faction split into two. On one side, the Ark Mechanicum that aligned with Chaos, and the other, the Adeptus Mechanicus that aligned with the Emperor of man and humanity as a whole. So the present-day Mechanicus is but a shadow of its former self, but yet is still the most powerful autonomous segment of the larger Imperium. It has its own void fleet, which is also known as the Basilikon Astra. It maintains a fleet independent of the much larger Imperial Navy, while also building the human fleet and maintaining most of the ships of the wider Imperium. While most of their void ships are identical to the ones used by the other Imperial factions such as the Astartes, the Navy, and the Inquisition, there are still quite a few unique ones that only they have the privilege of operating and fabricating. One such type of ship is the Ark Mechanicus, and that's why we are here, to dive deep into the lore and even deeper into the jewel of their class, the Speranza. But before we go into the core, we must start from the crust and then the mantle. We must first ask ourselves, what is an Ark Mechanicus? So for millennia untold, an armada of starships bearing the sacred insignia of the Adeptus Mechanicus has traversed the vast cosmos, defying classifications with their diverse designs and sizes. Many among them are relics from the Dark Age of technology, a time when humanity's scientific knowledge was at its peak, while some are just resurrected from space hulks and repaired and maintained to extract or utilize the technological assets and secrets that they possess within their hulls. Amongst these enigmatic vessels are the marvelous Ark Mechanicus, massive void ships which are only whispered about in hushed tones. They are guided by the venerable Archmagus Explorator. These behemoths of the void embark on one sole sacred quest, driven by a singular purpose of rediscovering the elusive STCs, or otherwise known as the Standard Template Constructs, devices of an ancient Dark Age of technology humanity that can create what they were designed to fabricate. While many STCs are quite unimpressive, there are quite a few though that can create constructs that can even change the balance of power within the galaxy. The ships of this class, while not really representing an actual class of similar design void crafts, are still giants and behemoths of the stars. It is said that the size of an Ark Mechanicus dwarfs even the battleships and the cruisers of the Imperium. It has been commonly stated that an Ark Mechanicus is wider than a Dominator class cruiser is long. Now what does that mean? Well, based on the Mechanicus data templates and slates, a Dominator cruiser is 5 km long, and therefore that means that an Ark Mechanicus is at least 5 km wide. And so given that Imperial ships are 5 to 6 times longer than their breadth, which is their standard design, that means that these arcs are also around 25 to 30 km long, which translates to 15.5 to 18.6 miles in length. This is as big as the island of Manhattan in New York City, including the Bronx up north and a bit more after that. And yet, in 3 dimensions, it means stretching 5 to 6 kilometers up to the sky. The weapons and defenses of an Ark Mechanicus surpasses even the mightiest Imperial battleships, embodying the pinnacle of the Adeptus Mechanicus technology. So profound is their value that the sacrifice of an entire forged world to reanimate their machine spirits is deemed a profitable deed. These vessels are so exceedingly rare that encountering one intact is deemed a miracle, akin to stumbling upon a fully operational standard template construct, for only a few of these Ark Mechanicus vessels are believed to still exist. And so with that we come to the biggest of their class, the most powerful ship that humanity possesses and also the one with the deepest secrets, the Speranza. The Mechanicum stumbled upon this vessel by chance on the forged world of Palomar, where it was discovered to be in an unfinished state. Magus of the Mechanicus, Lexel Kodov, spearheaded the ambitious project to finalize the vessel's construction. However, upon activation, the ship's machine spirit let out a deafening cry of awakening, triggering a cataclysmic event that obliterated Palomar in a devastating storm of radiation. The vessel's machine spirit then underwent a mysterious transformation, assimilating the myriad machines, the many machines around it that comprised its new form. It was then called the Speranza, a ship that not only harbored a repository of knowledge from the Dark Age of technology, but also boasted an array of radical weaponry, including technology capable of manipulating time and harnessing the power of black holes. Now, what is the size of the Speranza Void ship? Well, we know that an Ark Mechanicus ship would be in the range of 25 to 30 kilometers in length and 5 kilometers wide, which already places them as one of the biggest ships piloted by humanity. The Speranza is one of a kind, different from its brethren by its sheer size. It is said to be the size of a continent, and while this might be an embellishment from the side of Graham McNeill, who wrote the book Priests of Mars, it is safe to say that this Speranza might be the biggest ship of humanity. Its size range can be from a couple of hundred of kilometers or at least 1,000 kilometers in length, as it is said to possess an entire gravitational disruption field equivalent to that of an entire moon, and that it was an entire forge world on its own. But since it was discovered half constructed on a forge world, that means its size, when seen from the exterior, would at least be in the hundreds of kilometers in length at the most, or else the entire planet would have just imploded on itself due to the sheer mass. But then again, if the surface area of the three-dimensional ship is considered, it would surpass that of even Canada, given the innumerable floors that it would possess. Imagine a ship that is 250 kilometers in length into 50 kilometers in breadth. That gives a singular surface area which is 12,500 square kilometers, and take this times 500 floors, which would be equivalent to 100 meters per floor for 50 kilometers of spaceship height. That would give a total of 12.5 million square kilometers of floor area. So yeah, it is indeed a continent-sized mobile forge world. As for the design of the Speranza ship, we can assume that it might look similar to the other notable Ark Mechanicus ships, as well as possessing their standard tech and hull design. You know, the ones seen in the others like the Red Ark, the Iron Revenant, and the Omniscience Victory. This means that it too has a long hull that is 5 to 6 times the dimensions of its width and height. So now let's take a look at weapons. An Ark Mechanicus ship is equipped in standard with a Nova cannon, also with 4 lance batteries and 2 other types of weapons batteries. The star of the show is of course the Nova cannon. These types of weapons have enormous range, and if they score a direct hit, they can cause immediate destruction to the enemy craft. These Nova cannons fire massive gravitically impelled warheads that can unleash fleet-consuming plasma explosions and gravitational disruptions or even warp rifts. But since the Speranza is multiple times bigger than any other Ark Mechanicus ship, that means that it might possess multiple Nova cannons, several layers of lance batteries, and uncountable numbers of other lesser weapons batteries. The Speranza also boasts a fearsome array of radical weaponry and advanced technology, including a superstructure-mounted weapon system of immense power. This weapon rises from the ship like a megalith, and is a weapon that is designed to devastate even the fabric of space-time itself. Its construction incorporates elements of esoteric black hole research and relativistic temporal arcana, with pulsing streams of purple-colored antimatter and graviton pumps at its core, the engine, the source of all the power. The ship as well as its weapon system are powered by this antimatter and also dark matter from the void. So we can assume that the weapon is at least a starship killer, and at the most can upheave entire planets and even be capable of performing exterminatus. The weapon of this mysterious Mechanicus ship far surpasses any other Imperial ship and is capable of delivering devastating blows to even the most formidable warships of the Xenos and even those from the Ancient of Days, like the Necrons. It was in the Code of Crusade that it found itself in a confrontation with a powerful Eldar ship called the Starblade. In a move that might spark Heresy, the machine spirit on its own, the machine spirit of the Speranza, unleashed the ship's weapon without command, sending a silent pulse of dark energy towards its target at the speed of light. And despite the Starblade's agility and the prescient guidance of a Farseer inside of it, the Speranza's weapon's dark energy coalesced into a miniature black hole, pulling in everything within its reach with a great overwhelming force. Here in this scenario, all of the Eldar ship's attempts to evade were in vain, and the secondary effect of the weapon's energies caused catastrophic damage to the solar sail of the Xenos Voidcraft. And after a brief struggle, the Starblade's solar mass detonated, sending the ship away with the force of the blast, also with heavy damage and mass casualties. It was later revealed that the Speranza's chrono weaponry or time weaponry also played a role. shifting the target slightly into the past, causing further chaos on a molecular level, and contributing to the destruction of the Eldar vessel structure as well as disrupting the visions of the Eldar Farseer, rendering his mighty ability void and null. So it was in these years of M41, during the confrontation with the Starblade, that Archmagus Godov experienced a momentous revelation while communing with the Speranza's machine spirit. He unearthed a startling truth, that the vessel harbored a fully intact and continually updating standard template construct, or an STC database, which even includes the entirety of knowledge from the era of the Men of Gold and their progenitors. Archmagus Godov hypothesized that in fact all Ark Mechanicus ships concealed such a treasure trove of data and knowledge, but the Martian priesthood had thus far been unable to penetrate these repositories of knowledge, or they were unwilling or clueless. Unfortunately, however, as he disconnected from the ship's machine spirit, this profound realization was purged from his memory, lost to the depths of the ship's enigmatic consciousness, and he emerged out none the wiser. So we can conclude here that the machine spirit of the Speranza has the deepest secrets of humanity within it, and it might even be one of the sentient AI from the dark age of technology. And since its STC is continually updating, it has the potential to recreate other STCs and incomprehensible pieces of technology. And so that's all the knowledge we have on the Speranza, and also a bit on the Ark Mechanicus. Well, we do know a lot more of the Red Ark, the ships of Belisarius Cawl and the Iron Revenant, but we shall continue this in another video. So if you like this one, then check this other one as well, and if you want to browse for other Warhammer content, then check out our channel. Subscribe, like for support, and bang that bell icon for notifications on new video uploads. Till the next time, take care, boys.